Now at 5, it's happened in Indiana, a vaping-related death. The warning tonight from the Indiana Department of Health.
New details emerging about the stepmother accused of killing a 10-year-old Gas City girl. She's officially charged with murder. What the victim's siblings are now telling police.
It's terrible. When somebody's taking things that belong to you and not them, it's terrible.
A man's tools stolen. He uses them to make a living. The surveillance video you need to see and how you can help.
You can see the clouds, but will any rain impact your weekend plans?
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. A warning tonight, first at 5. Health leaders are urging people to stop vaping until they can figure out why it's giving people severe breathing illnesses.
It's become more urgent now as Indiana sees its first death linked to using vaping devices.
The state health department said the person who died was over 18. It's the third vape-related death nationwide. The state is investigating 30 cases of illness tied to vaping right now, and there have been 8 confirmed cases so far in Indiana, with 450 cases across 33 states. Indiana health officials say they're finding common links with these cases.
Many individuals have reported vaping THC, the ingredient in marijuana, or other substances, but we do not know what else may have been in these products or what is causing these injuries.
Earlier today, we learned that health officials may have found a link to these lung illnesses. They found the same chemical in samples of marijuana products used by some people who were sickened in different parts of the country. It's called vitamin E acetate.
Just into the RTV6 newsroom, prosecutors say they want to pursue life in prison without parole for a Gas City woman accused of strangling and killing her 10-year-old stepdaughter. Today, Grant County prosecutors officially charged Amanda Carmack with murder in the death of Skylee Carmack. And with those charges come disturbing allegations outlined in court documents, including suspected child abuse. Kara Kenny joins us now with a closer look at what experts say you can do if you're outraged at this case. Kara.
And many people are outraged. Court documents say Carmack confessed to strangling her stepdaughter because she was angry. Skylee's siblings told police that Amanda Carmack physically abused them, whipped them with a belt, and would make them stand against the wall with their hands in the air. Skylee Carmack was confined to her room for the last week and a half leading up to her death, court records show. Her stepmom, Amanda Carmack, told investigators she hit the 10-year-old on August 31st because she caught her stealing a charm bracelet. She reported her missing that night, and prosecutors say on Wednesday, Carmack confessed to killing Skylee because she was angry, choking her and strangling her to death, putting her body in a trash bag. The siblings told police Carmack would whip them with a pink belt and confine them to their rooms. It's unclear if anyone reported the suspected child abuse to the Indiana Department of Child Services. DCS says they can't legally share that information. Prevent Child Abuse Indiana Program Coordinator Sandy Runkle says we are all mandated reporters in Indiana.
You know, I can't tell you how many situations that we read about where someone has said, you know, I had an idea something was going on. We don't want to read that anymore. You know, respond to it. If you think something's going on, report. And if you suspect that a parent is kind of, you know, reaching a breaking point or just needs some support, reach out to that parent.
And you can report suspected child abuse or neglect to the DCS hotline at 1-800-800-5556. You can report anonymously. Signs of child abuse include unexplained bruising, if a child appears frightened of a caregiver, or unexplained behaviors like being overly withdrawn. We requested the DCS records on the Carmack family. However, DCS informed us due to a change in state law that took effect July 1st, we can't obtain those records until after Carmack is convicted. Mark.
We'll continue to stay on top of that, Kara. Thank you. Taking a live look over downtown Indianapolis from our RTV6 tower camera, you can see a gloomy evening with a lot of clouds. There's sun trying to peek out there. We've been dry for the most part. So Kevin's here in the tracking center. How's that weather shaping up for Friday night football, though?
Good, good. And so you've looked at the clouds all day long, right? You think, okay, there are the clouds. When is it going to rain? That is not part of the game plan tonight. We plan on staying dry. And just to confirm that and build my own confidence, I'm showing you the radar now just to double check. Those clouds have not produced any more than a sprinkle or two through the day, and an optimistic way to look at this sky cover is you're seeing some breaks in the cloud cover. That's the trend that will continue tonight. What a northwest breeze. 77 is our temperature. Humidity will fall this evening. That northwest wind will ensure our temperatures drop back into the 50s once again. And I think the wind will calm down a little bit, but that may be a challenge if it comes down to a game-winning field goal attempt at high school games tonight. Don't want to be kicking into the wind. There's the break in the cloud cover. 77 in Indy with some late-day sunshine. These temperatures may bump up another degree or so through the evening hours. Temperatures around kickoff 76. We'll call it mostly cloudy, but then by games at ending, it'll be partly cloudy and 74 degrees.
A traffic alert, a major closure begins tonight, and it could impact your drive. NDOT is shutting down part of I-465 on the southeast side. The southbound, westbound lanes from I-70 to I-65 will be closed for 15 days. You are looking live at a portion of that stretch of road. The work is scheduled to start at 9 o'clock tonight. And also beginning tonight, NDOT will begin work on a 60-mile stretch of I-70 to get rid of all the bumps in the road. This will impact both directions of I-70 between Mount Comfort Road and Hancock County and the Ohio state line. But NDOT is doing work in stretches, so they won't work on the entire interstate at once. And these are just lane closures, so you can still get through on I-70. It just may take a little longer. Work will begin tonight on State Road 9 and State Road 109. That's between Greenfield and Knightstown.
A call to action for our viewers tonight. The owner of this trailer here hopes someone recognizes the man seen in the surveillance video breaking the latches and stealing several items. The owner absolutely depends on those tools to make a living. Working for you, RTV6's Nicole Griffin is sharing his plea for help tonight.
Inside this trailer, 2 toolboxes and a tool bag. Those tools inside that man has had since he was a child. They are tools that he needs to do his job, and the entire theft was caught on camera. He hopes someone will recognize the suspect.
He walks around the front of the trailer and hits that door first.
It all happened Saturday night. A trailer broken into and the thief caught on camera. Jerry Butler temporarily had his trailer parked at his job in the Castleton Park area, just off of 82nd Street and I-69. Some of the tools that were stolen he had for decades.
Some of them belong to my dad, who's passed away.
How does that make you feel?
Sad. It's really sad.
The man is seen in the video unloading several items from the trailer. Aside from the toolboxes, he took an air compressor and a worksite radio.
It's terrible. When somebody's taking things that belong to you and not them, it's terrible.
Jerry hopes you'll help police identify this man who in just minutes took thousands of dollars worth of tools and supplies that Jerry needs. Working for you on the northeast side, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Well, Jerry hopes by sharing what happened, it may lead to recovering the stolen items. If you recognize the man in the surveillance video, contact Crime Stoppers. That number there on the screen, 317-262-TIPS.
The bus driver responsible for a crash outside Bloomington, which left 3 people dead and 3 others injured, faces a lengthy prison sentence. According to court records, a Monroe County judge sentenced 48-year-old Brian Hodges of New Albany to 14 years as part of a plea deal. 54-year-old Rose Pettis, a 30-year-old Shantae Lewis, and 30-year-old Orlando Lewis, all residents of Greenwood, died in that crash. Hodges was driving a Miller Transportation passenger bus in July of 2017 when he crashed into a minivan on Old State Road 37 at the intersection of what is now I-69. According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, tests showed Hodges had amphetamines and methamphetamine in his system at the time of that crash. Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, buying books for school online can save money, but working for you, the warning you need to see about buying inexpensive books so you don't waste your money.
But first, Hurricane Dorian is causing damage and flooding in the Carolinas. Now the storm is moving north, the impact it's having, and what we're now learning.
And comfortable temperatures won't last forever. You can see we've carved out our comfort in central Indiana. Warmer temperatures down to the south, but for how long?
Rallies and checkers. Fast foodies know the deal.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 5. Hurricane Dorian making landfall today in the Carolinas.
Now it's much further north. Taking a live look at radar, you can see Dorian is now impacting Virginia and other states to the north. ABC's Morgan Norwood is covering the impact Dorian has had along the eastern seaboard.
Hurricane Dorian turning deadly. Officials confirm 4 people died as the storm made landfall over Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano nearby in Nags Head.
Hurricane Dorian now making landfall just 30 miles to our south. Winds here absolutely ripping.
The storm's high winds sending water rushing down streets, swallowing cars, surrounding homes and businesses in Ocracoke Island. Rescue teams racing to the scene while officials plan to airlift survivors to safety.
The danger right now is the rising storm surge of 4 to 7 feet.
On Emerald Isle, residents picking up the pieces after a reported twister splintered homes like this one. Miraculously, no one was hurt.
It was a deafening noise. You could hear the wind, but other than that, it wasn't like a freight train, and then it was gone.
Meanwhile, in Charleston, cleanup begins. Businesses that braved the storm ready to reopen.
For the most part, we were very fortunate.
In the Bahamas, new before and after satellite images show the scale of the damage as relief and aid arrives. Rescue teams transporting some of the injured from hard-hit Marsh Harbor to Nassau's Prince Margaret Hospital.
I was buried in water like this, and my legs were trapped amongst all the wood.
And all across the island, survivors facing utter devastation.
Everything in Abaco is totally destroyed. It literally looked like we were bombed.
More than 370,000 people without power across 3 states. Meanwhile, a flooding emergency in the Outer Banks with several major freeways and bridges closed. A long day ahead for residents there. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative to connect you with job opportunities, and tomorrow the United States Postal Service is holding a job fair to fill several positions that range in pay from just over $13 an hour to nearly $18 an hour. There are also support jobs including auto mechanic, custodian, and tractor-trailer operator and driver. The job fair is tomorrow from 9 to 2 at the Greater Indiana District Conference Center at 8765 Guyon Road in Indianapolis. And you can view more job opportunities right now on the Hiring Hoosiers job board. You can find that at hiringhoosiers.com.
It's the weekend many of you have been waiting for, the return of Indianapolis Colts football. Sunday, the Colts will be in LA to take on the Chargers. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. This will mark the first game of the Jacoby Brissett era. He's taking over as quarterback after Andrew Luck's surprise retirement a couple of weeks ago. Despite Luck's decision to walk away, there are some high expectations for this team. And right now on Georgia Street, the Colts kickoff concert is just getting underway. Renee Blair is on stage now. At 6, Indiana native Clayton Anderson performs. And then Hunter Hayes will wow the crowd at 8 o'clock. Again, this is on Georgia Street between Meridian and Pennsylvania Streets downtown. The concert is free, but you must go to Colts.com to get a ticket for entry.
Hunter Hayes is one of my favorites. Lots of fun. It's Friday, and that can mean only one thing. It is time for Friday Football Frenzy. Get ready for a night filled with touchdowns, tackles, big runs, crazy catches, fight songs, and a whole lot of cheering from the student section. And Mark, you know where there's a ton of student pride?
Well, let me guess here. Where?
Where do you think?
I'm going to say
Greenfield Central High School.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
That's where our Alyssa Donovan set up this morning. She joins tons of students, cheerleaders, and football players as they gear up for tonight's game against Mount Vernon.
It is Friday Football Frenzy, and we are here at Greenfield Central, where the Cougars are getting ready to take on Mount Vernon on their home field.
Cheerleaders, the drum line, and hundreds of students came out to show their support for the football team.
I'm really excited to sit in the student section and cheer with all my peers and stuff.
One of the largest turnouts we've seen on Friday Football Frenzy. And we're told this kind of crowd is exactly what will be at tonight's home game against the Mount Vernon Marauders.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always there. We always cheer, no matter what's going on. And obviously, we got plenty of student support.
Greenfield Central is coming off a couple losses to start the season, but players say tonight's the night that turns around.
It's all right, we're gonna bounce back hard. We got this. We're so motivated and ready for this. We're so ready.
And with this kind of crowd, the team will definitely have the cheering section to get them to the win. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Thanks, Alyssa, for that. And some of the big games that we are covering tonight are Avon at Hamilton Southeastern, Yorktown at New Pal, Guerin at Heritage Christian, and again, Mount Vernon at Greenfield. We will have all the highlights and scores tonight on the news at 11.
And tomorrow, for the first time, you can enjoy a cold beer while watching the Indiana Hoosiers football team in Bloomington. IU has partnered with Upland Brewery, which is based out of Bloomington, for its pilot program selling beer and wine at Memorial Stadium. You will be able to get beers at most concession stands, and all beer and alcohol sales will stop at the end of the third quarter. IU takes on Eastern Illinois tomorrow at 3:30 p.m.
Have fun.
Sounds like it. Well, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, you can enjoy what's been dubbed as Indiana's nicest day.
Well, it's also known as the Penrod Arts Fair. Penrod is one of the largest single-day arts fairs in the country. There are activities for people of all ages.
Penrod is happening tomorrow from 9 to 5 at New Fields on North Michigan Road in Indianapolis. A lot going on this weekend.
Right, and it should be a good weekend for it, correct?
Absolutely. I saw the tents going up today, so all the preparations, they're getting everything ready, and they probably thought, uh-oh, there's some rain coming, at least today, because of all the cloud cover.
Nope.
But that's not the plan. I want you to meet Jacoby McGuire. I had a chance to meet him today. We get to do cool things, you know, and I was out and around, and I was at Crispus Attucks High School. He'd driven the bus for IPS for 38 years.
Wow.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Hey, Jacoby.
So that's a whole nother generation, right?
It's dedication.
You know, the students that he's driven, and actually the principal at Crispus Attucks was a bus rider of his.
Can you believe that?
Cool
Pretty
story.
cool. Nice guy. Hello, Jacoby, and thanks for your help today. Let's talk about temperatures that are way down here to begin with, and then just like the roller coaster that you may or may not like to go on, temperatures are going up early next week. We'll be in the upper 80s, pushing 90 degrees. Like this tower cam view because it tells part of the story, the clouds that we've had through the day and the breaks in the cloud cover that are headed our way tonight. Nice breeze out there as well. Temperatures are coolest to the north, 72 in Peru to 79 in Bloomington and Columbus. Temperatures through the weekend will remain well below average. The cooler it feels this weekend, the warmer it will feel by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. 73 in Tipton and Muncie, not the coolest though. 71 in Crawfordsville in Montgomery County. Temperatures are still above 80 in the southern portion of the state. Love looking at Riley. Typically, you come to the front door and there's a welcome mat. In this case, there's a welcome mat and Riley. And she's got her legs crossed, nice and calm.
Quite the welcoming committee.
Right.
Just surveying the
And so
neighborhood.
distinguished.
Riley, if you're going for a walk this evening, it will be nice. Temperatures in the 70s. We'll fall into the 60s by 11 o'clock tonight as skies gradually clear. Temperatures during the weekend, mid-70s both Saturday and Sunday. The major difference between the days, there's at least a chance for some showers on Sunday, but only 20%. Don't let that intimidate you. Green light for your outdoor activities. Football, college football tomorrow. Anywhere in the state should be enjoyable. 76 your kickoff temperature. In Bloomington, partly sunny. A noon kick, a little cooler. 68 up in West Lafayette for the Boilermakers against Vanderbilt. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon, as we mentioned, staying in the 70s. As we look at the cloud cover, that's really about it. A mixture of clouds and sun through the day. On Sunday, a little more consistent cloud cover. Chance for showers just 20%. Temperatures peak Tuesday and Wednesday in the upper 80s. They cool off, but stay in the 80s as we get to Thursday and Friday.
Well, enjoy that weekend.
We've made it
to
the end of the week.
TGIF. RTV6 is working on a very special initiative coming up to try to help people who may be struggling. Tuesday is World Suicide Prevention Day, so we're taking part in a 2-hour Stop the Music initiative with Radio 1 Indy and the Indianapolis Recorder.
We are teaming up with mental health experts, local leaders, and survivors for the 2-hour ad and music-free discussion. You can hear that all on Radio 1 Indy stations and also on RTV6 Facebook page from 10 a.m. to noon on Tuesday. And here on RTV6, we will have resources and stories of people impacted.
A high honor for the city of Bloomington, but with that honor comes a blunder that will make every Hoosier's head shake.
9. Rallies and checkers. Fast foodies know the deal.
Hello and a very good day to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV Live, and we're bringing you gavel-to-gavel coverage of a heartbreaking murder trial happening right now in southern Ohio. Defendant Skylar Richardson was a former high school cheerleader when she hid her pregnancy from her family and her friends. She says the baby was stillborn and that she buried the infant in her backyard. The prosecution is in its case in chief, calling witness after witness, trying to convince the jury that a murder occurred. But did it? Yesterday, the state played a police interrogation video, and a very emotional Skylar Richardson was seen repeating over and over again that she did not kill her newborn baby. Today, the state called a forensic pathologist to the stand who testified that there were multiple unexplained fractures in the baby's skull, but can't say when those fractures occurred, and also could not say whether the baby was stillborn or born alive. The cross-examination of that doctor was absolutely relentless. We expect to hear from more prosecution witnesses today as Skylar Richardson's future is hanging in the balance. Stay with Court TV Live for gavel-to-gavel coverage of this compelling trial and all your other legal news. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio. Thank you, Julie. Stream Court TV Live anywhere, anytime at courttv.com. 2 local cities honored as being among the best 30 college towns in America.
But the publication that released the high-profile list made a blunder about the school in B-Town. 24/7 Wall Street ranked what they believe to be the 30 best college towns. Bloomington comes in at number 2, but look at the write-up. It says the University of Indiana.
Big no-no there. As everyone in Bloomington, and most everyone in the state knows, it is Indiana University, not the University of Indiana.
Still, it doesn't take away that 24/7 Wall Street has named Bloomington as the 2nd best college town. The ranking is based on percentage of population enrolled in college, percentage of adults with a bachelor's degree, the unemployment rate, and the number of bars and restaurants.
And it isn't just Bloomington. Muncie is on the list at number 22. Of course, that's home to Ball State.
Look at that. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock here on RTV6. You probably don't look up when you drive, but one woman is warning that might be a good idea after what happened to her. She's sharing details of her close call new at 6.
But first on the Now, Indy, honoring heroes. Hoosier firefighters who saved lives at Ground Zero after 9/11. You're watching RTV6.